All right, shalom, shalom. First things first, I want to give our honor and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Machak, Wadash. We say Barakat Yahweh, Barakat Yahushai, Barakat Yahweh, Barakat Yahushai, Barakat Yahweh, Barakat Yahushai, Bahashem, Machak, Wadash. And we give double honor to our apostles and our elders, which are the apostle elders, a great millstone, which feed us with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding through the spirit and power of Yahweh Yahushai. 2025, which is the hope for year of our deliverance and the judgment and the destruction of Esau. Let's jump right into it. The title's lesson is going to be the horns are coming out. The devil is showing his horns. Jacob's trouble is at the door. Okay. That's because this is brothers have been doing videos, apostles have been doing videos concerning this DC presence, because that's just the start. That's just a trial run. Okay. I got a couple videos here that I want to bring out to show that this man has been planning these type of things. You know, we started with the Latin tribes, alligator, Alcatraz, all these things. But just like the brother Yahweh said out of Hawaii, he said that this is Gabar Yahweh. He said that this is it's a culmination. This thing has been building up. All right. All you see now is that this man is coming because the Lord is bringing this. The Lord is not. Lord is bringing Jacob's trouble. One, to fulfill the prophecies of Jacob's trouble coming, and another is to try Jake, because Jake has had an opportunity. The ones that are going to get caught up in this, and definitely in the times that we come into, are the ones that haven't listened, the ones that haven't taken heed, the knowledge scoffers. They walk past the camps. You know, there's camps in damn near all 50 states that have been pushing this word diligently over the years, starting mainly in the year of 2007 with apostles and elders that came on YouTube. All right. Rebukes has went out, all these things, because they thought it was men that was rebuking, is the Heavenly Father that was rebuking them through men. What does it say? Do I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? These guys are thinking it's us. They want to talk about us like we're, adding to the scriptures, when we're breaking down scriptures concerning the great issue, concerning different high holy days, concerning the Sabbath, concerning this issues are going on and on. It's been going on for years. Now judgment is coming down. Okay, judgment came down to Polite or No Light. Judgment came down to Sakari. Okay, these were things that, and they were warned. They can't say they weren't warned before the time of coming, but they were proud to the very moment that the Lord judged them. Same thing going back to Noah. Everybody was proud. They said there was eating, there was drinking, they were marrying, they were living their best life until that water came, and to the day of judgment. And guess what? Some people ran to the boat. They try to fandangle Noah. We don't know what Noah was doing in the boat or the ark, but guess what? They were trying to sweet talk their way out of judgment. Noah, Nawak, hey man, I always listen to you, man. I just had to get this done, man. I got my kids out here. You gonna let my kids drown? You know how people get, man. Okay, but the Lord shut the door. Okay, so the door of mercy is being shut. All right, because like the apostles and others say, that they believe that the elect, the 144,000, is sealed already. Okay, so now there's coming to the time of judgment, and the Lord is going to preserve those that have gathered faith as a treasure. Those are going to be the ones that are going to be saved, that are going to be maintained. Even if some of us get caught up in this, that's the glorified Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It's not us. Yahweh Shem Yahushai deserves all the glory and the praise in these times. That's what the establishment of the truth is. All right, it's praising Yahweh Shem Yahushai for his glory. That's why the Lord has angels that cast down their crowns. So let's jump into this. Let's play this video right here to show you guys that this thing is coming. This is fair use. Fair use is for educational purposes only.
Stopping cars as they
up.
passed. Many residents came out to protest against it.
Because these Edomites, some of these are Edomites, some of these are different nations. So this checkpoint was set up along 14th Street Northwest,
which is very close to the busy
U
Street
Street
corridor. We're speaking with some residents who live in this area today about their reactions.
We saw a number of
If you go to the overview, that was a Baphomet pad.
Clearly working for ICE, a small number of protesters, a lot of lights, a lot of cars just stopped in the road. My instinct, negative, right? Get out of the city.
A lot of the police were covering their faces, I think is part of intimidation, which I was upset to see that. happening right close to my home.
Checkpoint here is not related to any actual public safety concern.
From where I live, I can see like the street, and I saw like a group of police officers and National Guard just walking.
I've lived in DC for almost 4 years now and have never felt unsafe. Now with this increased police presence, I do feel like everyone's on edge.
And more developments involving federal troops were seen today as well, including National Guard units and Humvees set up near Union Station.
This is disgraceful. I come here every day. I never feel unsafe. What? For what?
At this very street in Washington, D.C., police set up a checkpoint,
and these people aren't even receiving the brunt of it, okay? Because really it's targeting Jakes, all right? And this is the report. It says low income. It says several news reports and analysts indicate that recent crime crackdowns in Washington, D.C., especially those backed by Trump administration, are likely to disproportionately impact lower income neighborhoods and vulnerable communities. Why are they vulnerable? Because of the economic separation, the disproportion of wealth, okay? Because DC is a rich area, so Jake can only stay in certain areas in DC, okay? And I actually used to live in Washington, D.C. I'll tell you a little fact, a little fun fact. I used to live there. I used to live there until I was about, 12 or 13 years old. So I know all about Washington. I lived in the Silver Spring area, Virginia, so I'm well aware of how it looks. I always used to laugh because the White House, right? When you see the White House, all you got to do is go over the White House. And then you go behind it, and it's nothing but crime-ridden graffiti, and it was nasty back then. So I can only imagine now. And I haven't been back in a long, long time, man. But I can tell you firsthand, boots on the ground, that place was dreadful. Okay, it was a facade. Okay, but that's symbolic of Babylon itself, because behind everything else, there's dirtiness, filthiness. There's wickedness. There's all types of debaucherous thing going on. But the front looks good. The front facing, it looks good. What did Yahushua say? He said they're about the Sadducees and Pharisees, the wicked ones. He said they're whited sepulchres, but inside are full of dead man's bones. Okay, so the same thing with Babylon. It looks good on the outside, but once you get into the nitty gritty of it and you get into the inner workings, you could see that there's a problem there, and that's you got analysts and people saying that themselves. See, it says here's a breakdown on the concern. Focus on homelessness. President Trump declared crime emergency and the accompanying crackdown explicitly targeting homeless encampments and individual expressing homelessness, according to the ARP, the NPR, Salakia. Low-income neighborhoods often have higher concentration of homeless individuals and may see increased police action related to these orders. Displacement and incarceration. Advocates fear the crackdown will lead to displacement of homeless residents and potentially their incarceration and exacerbating existing inequalities faced by low-income communities. So what do you think? They're targeting Jakes, man. Because these Edomites, you got to be rich to live in D.C. You got to be wealthy. I remember before I moved away, that's the reason we left D.C. because it was becoming too expensive. Okay, where we moved to now, okay, when we moved, we were paying, I think we were paying about $1,200. If my memory serves me right, we're paying about $1,200, and this is years ago. This was when I was 12 and 13. We were paying about $1,200, okay, $1,300 for a 2-bedroom apartment, okay, and just the low-income area where Issachar was at. I remember I used to have the Issachar friends, all right, Jake, but we were paying that, and we when we left where we came to, okay, we were paying. You could get a house for that, a big house, not just a small house. You can get a big house in a nice neighborhood for that amount of money. Less than that, for $800-900, okay, $700, you could get you a nice, I'm talking nice A1 place, So that's what my parents said, hey, we retarded to stay up here. The crime was increasing. So for a better life for themselves and myself, okay, they decided to move. So imagine now what's going on in D.C., man. It's terrible. It says displacement and historical context. A 2010 report from the Justice Policy Institute highlighted that people of color and low-income communities are already disproportionately affected by the justice system in D.C. So they've been cracking down. So this ain't nothing new. They've been cracking down. Now they just trying to go the gusto. They trying to intensify, because that's why the title of this lesson is "The Devil is Showing His Horns," man. Jacob's trouble is at the door. So the time of we live in he's trying to, because Jake, going back to the time of Egypt, it says when they were the more that they were stricken, the more that they multiplied. So Jake has a knack of thriving under pressure. All right. It says racial and socioeconomic disparities. Researchers also suggest a correlational between low-income neighborhoods and high crime rates, and these tend to be more likely to be affected by such initiatives. So you see it, man. You see it. All right. All these crackdowns, all these things that are taking place. And these are some of the videos. White House reacts to guard federal police presence. Washington, D.C. Ward 8 neighborhood reacts to president. Pretty much the reaction. Let's see the news on this one. Crime is down in Washington, D.C., but still a reality in some neighborhoods. D.C. residents protest as White House says federal agents will be on patrol 24/7. That's what you call a police state. That's damn near martial law. Okay? So they're setting the stage. And today we have the meeting going on too. Salakia, I got to look into that. The meeting with Nero and Putin to see what comes out of that. It says, get off our streets. Federal agencies set up checkpoints in D.C. drawing protesters. Crowds in D.C. outraged by federal enforcement presence as cars stopped on busy streets. So this thing is intensifying. Everything is moving towards that wave. Animosity of the time of Jacob's trouble, okay? So that's the time to prepare yourself, get your mind right, do the things that you must do, and pray to Yahweh Shemel Shai to have mercy on you in these times, right? This is the book of Revelation 12 and verse 13. Let's read in... It says, when the dragon saw that he was thrown down to the earth, and what's the main thing that you can see? Because his society is crumbling. The dollar is dropping. The prophecies are moving. Jake is waking up. The Bible is being preached on the four corners of the planet Earth, the true way. These Christians, these supposed apologists, all these other people that have come against the scriptures are losing. There's no W's for Christianity. That's a sit down right there. There are no W's for Christianity. So what do you think? They're getting mad. They're striking out. What does it say? They're lashing out just the same way that Antiochus Epiphanes did the same way. He lashed out when he was checked by the Roman guard. Okay? So what do you think is taking place right now? We're in a time of Yahweh Shemel Shai giving the truth back, redeeming the elect, and at the same time bringing this place down for the wickedness that is done. And it says he persecuted the woman who had given birth to the male Salakia. Amplified, when the dragon saw that he was thrown down to the earth, he persecuted the woman who had given birth to the male child. All right, that's it on that. Let me get this real quick. It's the book of Jeremiah 30 and verse 7. And it says, oh, how terrible. Let's go to Amplified. Alas, for that day is great. There is none like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, unequaled trouble, but he will be saved from it. And how's he going to be saved from it? By the elect, okay? Yahweh Shemel Shai is going to redeem the elect, set up a standard in the times when they come in like a flood. They're going to come in like a flood, but the Lord is going to lift up that banner and that standard, which is spiritual power, which is a divine intervention. You're going to have chariots, so-called UFOs, doing damage and preserving the men, because Esau has to be checked. Even though he's fulfilling prophecy, he still must get a check behind it. He still must have watchers that make sure he doesn't do too much. All right. All right, that's it on that. Let's go here. This is Wisdom of Solomon 2 and verse 19. Let us examine him. Let's go to 18. Let's start at 18. 17. 16. We esteemed him as counterfeit, and that's what they see about us. I'm talking about the elites. Those that know what is going on, they want to, because they're mad about the birthright. Going back to the time of Jacob and Esau, they want the birthright of the earth, the full immortality. They have the earth now, but they don't have the immortality that comes with it. That's why they're just like the elder said, they have a pseudo blessing. Okay, we are esteemed as counterfeits. It says we are esteemed to him as counterfeits. He abaseth from our ways, which the wickedness of this earth, as from filthiness. He pronounces the end of the just to be blessed. Same thing go back to Balak and Balaam. He said, I want to die to death and come back as one of these Israelites. So we see now that we're going to be blessed. This is just the last dregs of our captivities, our displacements, because through Yahweh's sacrifice, okay, which is the Messiah, the cornerstone of our faith, he's established us in the heavens, and he's pleading our cause for the Heavenly Father to deliver the elect and establish the kingdom of heaven, which belongs to you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are spread out through the four corners of the planet Earth, and also the confusion of face, those that may not look like your everyday Israelite, okay, but their spirit bear witness that they are the children of Israel, man. Okay, it says, pronounceth the end of the just to be blessed, and make his boast that Yahweh is his father. That's why it says in Zechariah, it says a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. So this man he's not the son. He's not been adopted in. He's not been grafted in. He's not been put in the place of there's no replacement theology that's being able to be put here. Okay, it says, blessed, and maketh his boast that Yahweh is his father. Let us see if his words be true, and let us prove what shall happen in the end of him. For if the just man be the son of Yahweh, he will help him and deliver him from the hand of his enemies, which is what? These Edomites, other nations, okay, that put us in captivity and that rape, rob, murder, don't like us, don't want anything to do with us. They're still going to have to what? They're going to have to be judged. All right. Verse 19, let us examine him with despitefulness and torture, that we may know his meekness and prove his patience. All right. So Lord, when is edifying lesson? I'm going to leave it there. The title of the lesson again is The Devil is Showing His Horns. Jacob's trouble is at the door. So with that, I say, call hello, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachak Kodash. Until the next time, I say shalom, and more than I never keep faith. Shalom.